If you are new to print on demand, or maybe haven't even dabbled in it yet, but you're curious about exactly how it looks behind the scenes, this is going to show you the service I have been using to start and launch 2 different print on demand shops using Printify. Now, I am working on a more comprehensive video of exactly what print on demand is and how it looks to set up and fulfill orders. But today I wanted to focus on the specific catalog items that a lot of sellers are using and get you into looking at the right items to make profitable margins right off the bat if you are new to print on demand. Now, Printify is not the only print on demand fulfillment center, but they are one of the largest and one of the most popular, if not the most popular, that you will hear about, especially when it comes to Etsy print on demand, because they have a direct integration and they have a huge product catalog with great pricing. I got started by setting up a free Printify account, which allowed me to look around, check out the catalog, get excited about some of the products, and pretty quickly I actually upgraded to the Printify Premium, which I believe is about $30 a month, but gets you up to 30% discounts on every single item you sell, making it a lot better for competing in the marketplace with pricing and obviously improving your margins, which also gives you extra money to invest in ads and therefore get more volume sales. So it's a whole nice cycle once you're ready for that Printify Premium upgrade. However, if you are just dabbling, you're getting started, you only have a couple of sales a week or a month, then that's totally okay, and there is no reason that you need to pay for the Printify Premium service. What I want to show you today is how easy it is for Printify to help you start your print on demand business today. And I say help you because you can see right off the bat, I am in my Etsy shop on Printify, and they have a list of bestsellers pulling up right here on my dashboard. So while it is fun to look at the catalog and see exactly how many things you can really throw yourself into, this is where you really have to hold back, resist the shiny object syndrome, and make sure that products you launch make sense for your niche, make sense for profitability, make sense for shipping costs, and are actually selling on Etsy. Not everything sells on Etsy, just like not everything sells on different retailers. So that's why there is a lot of research that goes into picking winning products to sell in your shop, even if it's on Shopify or your own website. But you can also skip all that research and just trust me on this. And there are going to be several other videos you can find on YouTube that I promise you will back me up on this, that there are some go-to products, tried and true, that you are going to continue hearing about from all of the sellers. And if you don't have time, energy, or the know-how to do that research right now, just start with what works. There's no reason that it's working for other sellers and can't work for you. I say all this with a caveat because if you stick with me towards the end of the episode, I am going to tell you the new products that I am trying to sell in my shop that are not on the bestseller list on everybody's top of mind. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you, spoiler alert, that it is working for me and I am going to double down on it. So stick with me and I will tell you not one, but 2 products that I am currently trying out that I am already getting sales and traction in and am excited to expand into. The first thing you can do when you jump into Printify is check out your dashboard and see what they are recommending to you. One nice thing is that it gives you a quick overview of things you've published, whether you have any items, and will maybe show you some news, offers, trends. And they will even start you into looking at their best sellers. So, spoiler alert, this is one of the hottest, newest products, the Comfort Color 1717 as a t-shirt. It is unisex. It is incredibly popular. Yes, shoppers have been searching by name. You will see sellers that are selling the Comfort Colors shirts specifically use that in their titles, tags, and keywords. And there are just some features about it that people are loving. So I'm not going to go into all of it. I am not here to do a sales pitch for Comfort Colors right now. But I will say that that is the brand that I got started with. And Comfort Colors is the collection of shirts that I am selling in both of my print-on-demand shops. And the nice thing is that because it is brand recognized and customers know it by name and love it, and it was at a higher price point, initially to make any type of profit, sellers, including myself, were having to price this somewhere between maybe $25 and $35 a shirt. And they have very recently partnered, I think Monster Digital and Swift POD or Swift Pod have both brought their prices down or brought their costs down to us, the sellers. And you can see that with Printify Premium, I can get shirts made starting at $10.67 each, which makes it phenomenal because customers are already invested in the brand and are already used to paying higher prices for this. So customers that see a $30 Comfort Colors shirt, in my experience, are really not put off by that at all. So you can still keep your prices at that, and you can run steeper sales and still be making a really nice margin. There are a few different t-shirts, so I'll show you that this Gildan 6400 is also popping up as a bestseller. And that's because you can see here that there are 9 different sizes, 66 colors, 22 print providers, and you can get the cost as low as $578, making this a really great go-to if you just want a very low cost, but still quality, trustworthy name brand that you can put together anything from toddler shirts to adult shirts, matching tees, if you have very specific colors you want to use, and if you want to be able to use all of the different print providers in the network to be able to deliver quickly to your customers. You can see that simple, clean white mugs in both 11 ounce and 15 ounce are on the list. You can get them from as low as $3.50. And I know that Tough Phone Cases have very recently been making viral videos, or I guess sellers of these Tough Phone Cases have been making viral videos on TikTok and on YouTube, that this is a huge new opportunity that some Etsy print on demand sellers are profiting from as well. I have not jumped into the phone case game, but for $8.29, you can start making all over print customized designs for various phone cases. But don't stop there. Let's go ahead and see more, because this bestseller list is far more than just those 4 items, and you can see why it's easy to go down a rabbit hole with jumping around between products. You can sort by popularity. You can see if there's anything really hot and new or what recently has become a bestseller. You can sort by the lowest price and see if your margins can be improved based on what you sell. And I'm going to keep this on popularity for a second because I want to simplify this clothing and apparel catalog for anybody interested in getting into apparel. If you're going to start print on demand, and a lot of us do start print on demand with t-shirts. T-shirts seem easy to design for, they seem fun. There's a lot of opportunity in being able to put your own spin on things that you can't get at a Target or a Kohl's down the road. And you can do a lot of fun things with t-shirts. So don't spin your wheels too long on all of these. These truly are all best sellers. Printify is not just saying that to get a sale from you. These are all brands that you can ask any big time Etsy seller, and I promise you they will be able to quote these not only by brand name, but literally by, I guess, is this the product number? It's not a SKU number, but people will literally call this t-shirt Bella Canvas 3001. They will call this t-shirt the Gildan 64,000. They will call this t-shirt Comfort Colors 1717. If you watch older videos, you will hear the advice to start with a Bella Canvas 3001 if you are looking for a good quality, really soft t-shirt at a decent price point that tends to get really great feedback by men and women all around. It's crew neck, it's durable, it prints up really well. You can see that they have up to 126 colors, which is just insane. And this was the go-to for the past several years, and for good reason. It is definitely still a very high contender for the shirt go-to for you. Now, a second ago, I showed you this Comfort Colors, and this Comfort Color 17, for all the reasons I just explained and the brand recognition, is another one that sellers are throwing into their shops now. Honestly, if you have already been selling Bella Canvas and doing well with that, I don't necessarily see a reason to change. I don't know if there's enough of a brand recognition that there's going to be value there for you to have to create new mock-ups and new end cap slides and anything else. But if you haven't, I would say maybe Comfort Colors is kind of new and on the rise and not overly saturated yet. So that might be where I would start. It is where I started. So what am I saying? It is where I started and I'm sticking with. And the big thing is, because this video is newer, I can now safely say that Bella Canvas was good because the price point was so great. So you can see that you could get this as low as $8.69. You would be able to sell a t-shirt for $14.99 or $19.99 in a realm that an average customer would happily buy without stepping into that next like $30 t-shirt price range. And Comfort Colors was costing, I think, closer to $15, maybe even $17 a piece up until, I don't even know, beginning of this year, or time has moved so quickly, I'm not sure. But I know that I haven't been selling print on demand that long. And when I started Comfort Colors t-shirts, I had to price at like $30 to make money. So now that these are so close in price and margin, I would say start with this Comfort Colors and this $2 difference in cost to you. I think you can easily get $5, maybe even $10 extra in price from the customer. Now, those are the two I would start with, but you can see that Gildan also has two popular options. You can see that they have the Gildan 5000 at this $589 price point, and about the same price point is the Gildan 64,000. They're both unisex, they're both crew neck. Essentially, this one is a heavyweight, just this heavy cotton tee that have been around for years. And now they also have a soft style one. So personally, I haven't worn either of these for myself. I haven't sold either of these, but the name is pretty much telling us the difference. You've got a heavier cotton, or you've got one that's supposed to be a little lighter weight and probably is supposed to compete with the Bella Canvas a little more closely in the market. If this $3 price difference is going to be the difference for you, for instance, if you were just trying to sell novelty shirts, if you're just trying to create thousands of Christmas designs and you know somebody's just going to want to buy a funny shirt for one-time use, and so you want to make it as cheap as possible but still deliver a quality product, that's personally when I would use maybe one of these. But honestly, otherwise, I would stick with the Bella Canvas and the Comfort Colors. The only other time I would use the Gildan 64,000 is if you are trying to put together a line of products. So let's scroll down right here. You can see that this crew neck sweatshirt and this hooded sweatshirt are both by Gildan and are also bestsellers. So if you wanted to put together a product line and just easily say, these are all by the same brand, they all have the same sizing metrics, and you wanted to keep it simple, easy peasy, the exact same color schemes, exact same branding information, everything like that, then you could potentially put together a listing that sold all 3 of these products in a group where you say your product can go on any one of these 3 items, and here are the differences. But there are plenty of sellers that will do that with a Bella canvas as the main t-shirt and then sell you either a sweatshirt or hoodie as well. So there's no reason that you can't start with a Bella canvas and add these on later down the road as well. So don't let that stop you. But I did just want to throw that out there that this is kind of a line of 1, 2, 3. If you want a shirt, sweatshirt, or hoodie, that could be an easy way to set it up. Now, every once in a while, there will be new trending products thrown in here, and you can see that I know candles have been doing well. This has a trending tag on it, so I'm guessing that means that recently that has really been hot. And that could be because I'm recording this right before Mother's Day, so it could be that a lot more sellers put more candle products on the market and are seeing traction to buy those as Mother's Day gifts. Personally, I do have candles in my shop. It was one of the earliest things I tried out right after launching my Comfort Color shirts. And to date, I have only sold 1, or technically, I have sold 2 candles to 1 single customer. So she really did love them and they were customized, but none of my other candles have seen traction. And I'm sure there is a way to break into that market, but there are some sellers that really have a handle and a good grasp on the perfect funny phrases. They have strong branding. And while this is only $8.76, there is a higher shipping cost to it. So I do think these candles are hard to compete with price. You really do have to charge customers close to $20, and 9 ounces is not that large of a candle. So they really have to be unique, funny, or personalized in my mind to kind of try to compete with some of the big shops out there. If you start with mugs, which is a good one that I have been diving into, shocker, right? I am definitely not a one product shop. But if you start with mugs, I would also recommend starting with the 11 and 15 ounce. It's great because you can show the customer the lower cost for the 11 ounce, but also offer them an upsell for the 15 ounce. But I would also consider, if you're going to do mugs, to tie in the accent coffee mugs, which in my mind helps elevate the product a little bit and is not that much higher of a cost. So these start at $3.50, and these are available in the same 2 sizes and start at just under $4.50. So for less than $1 more, you can offer accent color coffee mugs, and depending on where you're located, this preview shows only 5 accent colors. And even in just the 6 months I've been doing print on demand, I have seen the addition of all of these other colors. So we now also have, purple, yellow, and orange on top of the pink, navy, light blue, red, and black that were available when I first started. This is another reason that I love print on demand, and I know it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I see that there is potential even where people might be complaining that it's saturated, because Printify is adding new printers in network and new products in network all the time. For me to only be doing this for 6 months and to actively recognize that when I started, I couldn't get a purple accent coffee mug. I know that because that's my mom's favorite color, and I thought it would be unique to get on a product, and now we can. So there are specific things that I can speak to even before I knew to pay attention to them that I've watched change in front of my eyes, which means there's even more changes that I haven't noticed. Okay, so to summarize where we are, if you're going to start with a shirt, we've talked through that and my thought process there. If you're going to start with a mug, which would be a great idea and very easy and simple to get started, I think they are easy to mock up. I think there's a lot of options out there for good mock-ups. You can also add value and some dynamic options by simply adding the same designs on accent color mugs with just plain white mugs to elevate the designs. So I think that's a really great place to get started as well. And mugs are always very giftable. They're personalizable. You can make them for anybody. And you don't have to worry about size charts, which honestly is the biggest thing I wish I would have thought about when I launched my first shop. Picking out sizes and color of apparel is more daunting than it should be, and mugs kind of force you to keep it simple. Now, personally, phone cases are not super interesting to me, but I did mention I know that they are doing really well right now, so check out YouTube for some tutorials and see if that's something that you'd be interested in running with right now as the trend is hot. Now, these plush blankets have been incredibly popular. I would say do these if you want to do personalization. If you are newer and still getting your feet wet, you're not sure if you want to do personalization or not. I'm not sure how well blankets will do if you just put random images. I'm sure once in a while you could sell a cool boho or cottagecore look, but these are really doing well, obviously in the baby space. And if you know how to do the patterned graphics where you put somebody's name on it and it repeats in different directions, it looks really cool and unique. But if that's not your skill set, I don't know if I would jump into that right away. There are stickers. I know there are huge sticker shops out there. I've never spent the time to dive into the sticker market. For me personally, I don't expect it to be a high enough margin profit, and I don't think I'm trendy or funny enough to get the right kind of stickers that would stand out in a sea of stickers, I assume. So I would turn to somebody else for advice about stickers if you're interested in that. Haven't done posters or kids' clothes, but I do know that tote bags are another good one. Now, this is the all over print. I have heard about the just plain canvas ones, but again, just because it's not on this bestseller page doesn't mean it's not a bestseller, and it doesn't mean it's not popular. It just is not exactly currently what is doing the best of all these products. So out of all of the things I talked about, my go-to would be mugs. I would start with mugs. I would start with putting things on, honestly, maybe not even the white mugs. I've just never been a fan of white mugs, but they do sell really well on Etsy, so I shouldn't discount them. But if you wanted to pick literally one product, I would pick the accent coffee mug. Anything you can put on a white mug, you can put on this black handled and black accent mug, which I think gives it something a little extra. And I've seen doing really, really well on Etsy right now. So even if you're going to add just black text, this helps it pop and look a little more modern, especially if you get the right mock-up. And I do think that mock-ups would be pretty easy because you get a simple clip art design or text, put it on a transparent background, and you can see how it would sit right here perfectly nicely on the front of the mug. So if you're gonna ask my advice, that's what I would say. If you are super, super insistent on apparel, or you just love t-shirts, you love clothing, you love fashion, then I would do the Comfort Colors 1717. And I guess that's why those are the first two things that I put in my shop. So I guess I would still do the same thing today, even though those have not been taken off as quickly as I'd love. Now, if you have stuck with me this far, thank you for enjoying my rambling, or at least putting up with it. I'm going to reward you by telling you the 2 products that I am checking out as we speak and starting to launch in my shop to see if they can pick up any traction. And well, I'll tell you the first one first because I actually mentioned it in a previous recent video, and it is not on Printify, but it is an extra large oversized platter from Deco Plate that I am listing based on my new account with Anywhere POD. I will link them below, but I am trying them out with a free trial from Angel over at Passive Income Angel. I checked out her link. I got to be on a lifetime workshop call with the founder, Chris Meets himself, and I really liked this product. I thought it did have potential, and I sold my first one within a week of listing it. So to me, that is a sign that I should put some more time and effort into listing more of them. So that was a little bonus product because it's not here in Printify, but in Printify here, I am going to show you the product that is not on this bestseller list, but is about to become what I hope is my first bestseller in one of my shops. And I say that because I started seeing them do well when I was doing Everbee research, which I will definitely record an over-the-shoulder tutorial for soon. But I had found this product a few times. It was on my notepad to check out a little more. And then I started seeing other YouTube videos come out, pulling out the exact same item from the exact same shop and calling them out as goldmine opportunities. And I thought, that's too uncanny. We are all finding the same thing popping out at the same time. That means it really is new and hot and trendy, even to experts that have been doing this for years. And it could be because historically, it was not on Printify, and now it is. And if we come here to journals and notebooks, you'll see that the spiral notebook has been listed as a bestseller. But the one I'm talking about is over here, sneakily hiding out, not on the bestseller list, but is showing us the trending tag, the hardcover journal. And this hardcover journal is a bestseller. Actually, one or two of the shops that I have found have dedicated their shop to only hardcover journals. I don't know if they were printing them previously or if they had a unique relationship with this print provider that they were selling before anybody else. But this product is $6.84, or at least with my Printify Premium it is. So you can see if you're using the free Printify, it would be $9.30. But with Printify Premium, it's $6.84 a piece. And shipping is $4.99 for economy. I like to go standard, so let's say $6 for standard. So all in, the costs for me are what? $6 and $6.84, so $12.84. So let's say $13. So for $13, you can put together a really nice customized hardcover journal. And I caught wind of this in another proof of the concept to take imperfect action rather than thinking about things. As soon as I found it, I went ahead and launched it. And because I think only a handful of you out there are listening to this podcast at all, and even if you were, maybe you didn't make it to here. So if you made it to here, I am going to tell you, I launched a graduation journal. So I launched this exact hardcover journal. I marketed it as a graduation journal. So I have a cute minimalist design. It has letters to graduate. It has the graduate's name customized, and it has class of 2025. And I do offer upsells for other personalization. I offer it in a few different colors, but otherwise that's what it is. It is graduation. And between the low competition, the high volume search, and I think getting this on the market at the exact right time, so that kind of 6 to 8-ish weeks out from the event day, so people are starting to search in April, May, I got sales overnight on this product, and I am getting at least 3 a day, every day, on this item. And again, this is in my shop that only had, 10 sales when I updated you in March about it, something like that. Maybe 10 sales in March. So we are at the beginning of May. So somehow across the month of April and now this first week of May, I believe as of today, we are at 77 sales. So I'm excited because April, obviously more shopping opportunities have picked up. I did hit this graduation niche, but I say this because I want to be transparent. I mean, I don't want to give away my shop. I don't want to mess up my potential to get bestsellers when I still need some sales in my shop. And I definitely don't want to mess with conversion rates. Like if everybody goes and floods it, looks in and then doesn't buy. So Etsy thinks my products are just not sellable. I don't want to mess with that. But I'm being as transparent as possible with you because when you actually take advantage of these pieces of information and they come together the right way, it is really exhilarating. It is really exciting to say, oh my gosh, like I actually followed the timeline that people recommend. I actually found a niche. I offered value. It was imperfect action. It honestly was not my favorite design. I think that the typeface I used is probably trending right now, but I don't personally love it. But not only have I made multiple sales a day, I've also made multiple bulk purchase sales. So one day I signed on, I saw that I had 5 new orders. I was thrilled. And then I saw that one of those 5 new orders was for a bulk purchase of 14 of these. 14. And I am selling these at a pretty nice profit margin because they are hardcover, they are personalized. So would you pay $25 or $30 for a personalized hardcover memory keepsake for your once-in-a-lifetime graduation? Maybe so. And the customer is paying for shipping. So that is really where the margin is being accounted for. So if my customer pays for their own shipping, we don't have to think about it might cost me $12 all in. If they're paying their own shipping, we're actually just talking about how it costs me $7. So if they're paying shipping, let's say they're paying $20 on a $7 product, that is a nice $13. And I honestly think I might have it priced a little higher than that. And like I said, I have upsells for additional add-ons, additional customization. That does take me a little more time, but doesn't actually cost me any more money. And that is where you can really start to see some attractive numbers. So if you haven't picked a product yet, or if you have been trying the apparel thing and it's just not working for you, I know that all of the advice I have seen and heard from people that I know, like, and trust online has been to stick with one product. That is definitely a very brilliant idea with a lot of upside in keeping you focused, keeping you, what do they say, a mile deep and an inch wide, and really finding a niche and understanding the market and the competition so you can compete better when you are ready to expand into other niches. However, so far, again, just in my personal experience between these two shops, one of them is starting to see, my kind of beachy one that I call it, is starting to see daily sales as well. There is one product doing better than everything else, one t-shirt that is doing better than everything else, but I am typically getting 1 or 2 sales a day there. And other than that shirt, it is not in the exact same niche. It is not the same style of design. And it's becoming harder for me to figure out what doubling down there will mean. Whereas in this shop that I did launch these journals, I am actually surprised I don't have a bestseller tag yet. So I'm curious about what else it'll take to get one of those. But it has proven to more quickly get me in front of customers and get me closer to that 100 sales mile marker. Okay, and I can't help myself. I was about to wrap this up and I remembered one new product that I had heard about and have started tinkering with too. So don't kill me, but I'm gonna look it up and see if it's trending. Okay, so if you really stayed this long, then super bonus that even I did not know I was going to bring up. Here we go. This one is also very new to Printify. It does not have a lot of mock-up options yet, and I have found it to be a little harder to mock up realistically. But if you are in a position to try it out, this clear glass mug with handle I think is also going to be a big new opportunity. And again, I found it just before it got this trending tag on Printify. So that just backs me up that I do know what I'm talking about a little bit. And if you are in the mug space, or maybe you can start with pushing out these accent coffee mugs like we talked about and dabbling in this one, or you could go all in. But this clear glass mug, higher price point, so it does start at closer to $12.60. So if you don't have Printify Premium, could be a little bit high from a price point. There you go, closer to $17. So about $4 or $5 difference. That might make it hard to compete if you're not in the Printify Premium network. But you could always do a Printify Premium trial or add it later. But I'd keep an eye on these glass mugs. I am starting to push them out to my shop, so I will let you know if they get any traction for me. But I definitely have seen newly launched products, this exact product in different design styles with bestsellers already on Etsy. Now that is seriously time to wrap up, because otherwise I am going to go down the rabbit hole and find myself another new product to add to my shop, which is not at all the advice I give. It's not the advice I intended to take from others, but it is truly, when we say transparent, I mean, I think this is why a lot of the pros that are relatable will say they went down too many different rabbit holes and then they found success when they stayed in one lane. And I know for a fact that I am currently in the too many rabbit holes. I'm just trying to find the lane that I want to stick on, right? So I don't know, to expand the metaphor, it's like I'm just trying to find the highway or the freeway, the express lane that I want to take. And once I do, then I'll stay on that for a little bit. But I do think with the landscape of Etsy changing all the time and the fact that there is saturation, but there are also these changes that maybe newer sellers aren't paying attention to. Newer experienced sellers may not be interested in learning about the benefits of the new products. They might not be scanning the catalog as often because they are already invested in what's been working for them for several years. So in my mind, this might be the way to break in 2025. And at least from that journal perspective, so far that is proving to be true. So if you liked this video, if it helped you in any way, then I would love and appreciate if you can subscribe, leave a quick comment or review, whether you are listening to this on podcast or on YouTube. Hopefully I will get them to cross over sooner and hopefully make it a little more fun to watch as a YouTube video. I am a one-woman show and just trying to be consistent about getting the information out to you. I will work on trying to make it more fun to watch on YouTube in the future when that becomes viable. But until then, I am just grateful that you are out there listening and hoping that I can help even one more person along their journey and we can grow in this Etsy business together. If you have any questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a line in the comments below or send me a message on Instagram in the show notes. I will leave all of the details, and subscribe so that you don't miss my next episode. Until then, goodbye.